Hello, YouTube Live. I'm all alone here in this Zoom room, preparing for the second Ovanova Solar Exploration Experience, May 6th. I just finished going through all the designs that our team created for the supporters showing up tonight for the experience, checking them over, making some modifications. I was looking at the slideshow that we created and trying some new stuff, reorganizing some things. Soon I'll do the same thing every time. But for now, we're still iterating. Hopefully we end up with 2,000 viewers in the next couple months. I think we had 2 at the last session. So big goals. Big goals. Invite your friends. There's like 9 minutes until this thing actually starts. So I just love being early. I'll go ahead and change my name. Let's see. We're going to have Luke Wilt with us from Team Ovanova this evening. There's usually a teammate on for support. And so Luke will be that teammate. Let's see here. Ooh. Humberto joining early. Super cool. Humberto, happy Thursday. You're muted. I'm going to see.
Sorry.
Nice. I read your lips. You said, "How are you?"
Fine, you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking. How about yourself?
Fine. My English is not very well, but I try to speak.
Well, my Spanish is even worse. So I'm gonna stick with I've learned recently that I'm actually pretty bad at English too.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do my best to make this fun and a clear and enjoyable conversation.
Okay.
Thank you for coming tonight, and thanks for being early. Are you at work?
Yeah, I'm in the office now.
What do you do?
I work in one company for beauty products, e-commerce. We have my company that help other company for do Shopify's and Amazon, different products.
Nice. And you go into work to do that instead of working from home?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. So tonight we're supposed to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 supporters.
Okay.
So right now we're going to get started just right on time in about 6 minutes. But I'm a solar nerd. If you have any questions about solar, I'd be happy to answer them for you. Or we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. Is it do you go by, is it Humberto?
Yeah, Humberto.
Humberto. Okay, cool. Yeah, me llamo Juan. Mucho gusto, Humberto. So let's see. Oh, Doral Academy. Very cool. You can
Yes.
Doral. Who do you know at Doral?
Sorry?
Who are you supporting in Doral?
Doral Academy?
Yeah, what is your connection?
My son studying in Dollar Academy, and my daughter is finished 3 years ago.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, we've been helping Doral raise funds for quite a few months now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been fun to have their supporters on. Let's see here. I don't think I have the screen up, so I'll bring it up. Is this the Doral Academy band?
Yes, Dollar Academy band.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I guess that might be. We've definitely worked with Doral Academy before, but maybe not specifically the band. Let's see here. There we go. Yeah, this is the last band, one of the bands we work with. This is one of the things they said about our fundraiser.
Oh, very good. It's nice.
Yes, they were very nice. They're in the mountains of North Carolina.
Okay.
I'm also in North Carolina. Luke's coming. Luke's this guy right here. There's Luke. Is it raining? Looks like you got a rain jacket.
Yeah, it's raining a little bit. I'm trying to get around and find my headphones real quick.
No problem.
How are you doing, Mr. Humberto?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Yeah, just Humberto here, hanging out. I'm assuming you're down there in Florida. Do you normally work this late, Humberto? Are you normally
Today,
at the office until 8?
no, I wait in the office because the weather is crazy tonight. We are waiting for less rain. Now in Miami, it's raining. I'm waiting here.
That's you don't want to go outside and melt. So it looks like one more minute and we have another supporter. Sherry's joining us.
Well, yeah, Humberto, those Miami rains are no joke.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Monsoonish. Sherry. Man, everybody had so much fun on Cinco de Mayo. They're just all sleeping in tonight. Everybody turned in early. Kyle's joining us. Nice. So 3 out of 7. That's not bad show percentage. What's up, Kyle? I don't know if he can hear us yet. Still connecting to audio. Mrs. Hanson. Sherry, can you join us on camera so we can see your smiling face? It is right on time. Oh, and it looks like everybody's coming. Cool. Well, we're going to get started then. So we just want to test reading comprehension before we get started. So if you guys can, once you've read just so we can set the tone for what this experience is like tonight, because a lot of people have not been to a Ovanova solar exploration experience. Would you guys mind reading the few sentences and then just raise your hand when you finished? Just checking reading comprehension and timing you. I love Kyle's smile. So if you've completed it, just raise your hand so we know you're done, please. Okay, thanks, Sherry. Thanks, Kyle.
Kyle, are you there in the clogging studio? We had Billy Broughton on a few weeks ago, and I just noticed the background was pretty similar. Yeah.
The dance studio.
Nice.
Well, fantastic. So I just want to check my audio. Did everybody have a chance to read this so they know what's going on tonight? Does anybody not see my screen? Is it Thierry? Is that how you say it? Thierry?
Terry.
Terry. Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, thanks for being here, Terry. Are you able to see my screen and the words up there?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. I just didn't want to move on until everybody had a chance to read it. Thanks for being here tonight, guys. So just a quick what to experience and what you've already experienced. So earlier today, everybody who is on here tonight should have gotten a solar design. So you should have seen your house, solar panels on it. You should have seen like what your federal tax credit would be if you chose to go solar, what the total cost would be. So if you didn't get that, please shoot Luke a message in the Zoom and just say, hey, Luke, I didn't get that. And he'll make sure that you get one. So that was something you guys were supposed to get already. And then tomorrow, because you guys actually showed up, and you'd be surprised how many people register and don't show up, we'll actually send you a much more specific solar design that actually breaks down all the prices for you, so you can see how much the solar panels cost, how much the inverters cost, how much the shipping is, like every piece of the puzzle, even how much Ovanova would earn if you chose to use our service to go solar. It's all really transparent for you. We find it helps people understand the total cost of going solar. So either way, earlier today, you got an email with the solar design. Tomorrow, you're going to get something even cooler. It's called open book pricing. And tonight, we're going to do intros. It takes like 38 seconds per human present. So it's just going to take a few minutes. Okay. We're going to get on the same page. And that's just 5 minutes of making sure that we're all talking about the same thing. The Dalai Lama said that if we just listen long enough, we'll realize that we're all saying the same stuff. I think he said saying the same thing. I might even mess that up a little bit. But in general, we just have different definitions. So just getting on the same page. And then there's 4 basic solar concepts that I found that if people just knew, the world would be a better place. Like, how does it work when the sun's not shining or when it's cloudy or rainy? A lot of folks just don't know how solar works in those situations. Okay. And then there's Q&A. I'm going to open it up just a few minutes. So probably like, 15 minutes from now, I'll open it up. You guys can ask as many questions as you like, or feel free to hop off. But if you guys wouldn't mind, Luke's going to put this link in the chat, and we're also going to email it to you afterwards. But this is a way for you guys to schedule a one-on-one Zoom to modify your solar design. And if you guys hear anything during this conversation that's like, yes, I definitely want to continue exploring solar energy, my request is that you use that blue hyperlink and sign up for a follow-up, because life is super busy. And a lot of times, if we don't set a date in our future, it just doesn't happen. That's why when we go to the dentist, they schedule the next appointment while we're there. So that would be my request of you guys. If you hear some truth tonight and it really inspires you to continue your solar exploration journey, just go ahead and book a time, put it in your future. It's easy to reschedule, but we just know how busy life is, and we want to help folks move forward as well as we possibly can. So intros. This is Team Ovanova. We're the Planeteers. You can be one too, because saving our planet is the thing to do, okay? And our mission, this fun group of people here, is to add as much value as possible to as many lives as possible. We love people. We love supporting community organizations, and we think solar's super cool. And so we designed a way to take money that's normally being spent on like solar salespeople's commissions and Google and Facebook ads, and redirect that to churches and schools and missions, like cleaning up the oceans and stopping deforestation. We give donations when people show up to learn about solar energy. And we've helped people in 15 different states go solar. We've been doing this for 6 years and we love it. So thank you guys for being a part of it. So your time to shine. This is all about you right now. Intros, name, where you are located in the world, who you came here to support tonight. And if we were handing out a free set of solar panels, what you would need to know before you would let us attach them to your property somewhere, okay? So whoever introduces themselves gets to pick who goes next. So Terry, would you mind leading us off here?
Sure. My name's Terry. I'm from Land O'Lakes, Florida, and I'm supporting the Sun Lake High School Marching Band. And the next person will be Kyle.
Terry, before you pick somebody, Terry,
Yes.
if this was a game show and I was like, Terry, we've got a new set of solar panels for you, what would you want to know before you would let us put them on your property? Any questions at all? Or were you just like, I want them, I'll take them?
One of my friends had concerns about damage to the roof. So I would want to know what would be your response to that.
If your roof would be safe. Totally.
Correct.
Okay. Not going to leak, not get damaged. Okay.
Right.
Thank you for sharing that, Terry. As a homeowner, I'd want to know the same thing. Okay. Well, who gets to go next?
What about Humberto? Yes.
Hi, my name is Humberto Ibirma. I am from Miami, Doral. I support Doral Academy Band. Sorry, my English is not very well, but about the install in the property is your question about the damage on the techo.
You're doing great, Humberto.
Yeah. And this area is very complicated. 3 months on the year about the hurricane storms and different. What about this and the panel on the roof?
Very cool. Humberto, thanks for saying that. We have a 1-minute video that we usually show in the very beginning that will answer Terry and Humberto's questions very well. So thank you guys for saying it. Humberto, who would you like to hear from next? Thanks for being here, guys.
I only see Kyle, Terry, and I don't see other people in my.
Well, let's call on Kyle next with that big smile.
Hi, so my name is Kyle, and I'm right here in Plant City, Florida. I'm supporting Dance Connection Dance Studio, and my question would be something about maintenance on the solar panels. What does that look like? How often would you have to send someone out for upkeep or replace the panels? So that would be my question.
Well, that's a fantastic question. And Kyle, I don't know what your COVID protocols are there. It sounds like you and Sherry are in the same room. Is that true? Are you guys sitting next to each other? Cool. So So if you guys feel safe being closer, one of you guys can hang up, and that way there won't be. You can look at the same phone. Is that you guys comfortable doing that, or do you want to be?
Yeah, that's fine. Sherry said, "I'll hang up. I'll hang up."
Okay, there's just an echo, and so I thought it would be better for everybody if you guys
No
got
problem.
Fantastic.
All right, so
Thank you guys.
I'll call on Sherry since she's right here.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Sherry Hansen. I'm from Lakeland, Florida, and I'm supporting Dance Connection. And I really don't know of any questions that I would ask that they haven't already asked.
Okay, well, that's fantastic. So you're one of those that's like, well, as long as it's going to be safe for my roof and not fly off during a hurricane, I don't have to spend too much time maintaining it. I'll take a free set of solar panels.
Right, right.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. Again, thank everybody for being here. I see somebody has called in from a phone, and there's very few requirements for this fundraiser function, but it is to be on camera because we've been doing this for 6 years. And you know how like sports teams and cheerleaders and band members and things like that, are there any way they can get around the rules? So they were signing the kids up, and we needed to make sure it was actual adult. So we that's why we started having the camera on. But otherwise, you guys, this was great introductions. Luke, you'll get a chance to speak up in a bit. I'm gonna have you help me with some of this stuff, but this is the getting on the same page part. So we're moving through this nice and quick. Now, the question would be, and it's way more fun when people participate here, but how long do you guys intend on using electricity?
Forever.
Okay, is everybody on the same page with that? We all want a refrigerator, right?
Right.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure that's all this is for. This can go faster than 5 minutes if we can get on the same page quickly. So, as far as your electricity bill, we get asked all the time, what's the return on the investment for solar? So I have a question. What is the return on the investment on your current electricity bill?
Nothing, just the electricity for what you pay for.
Exactly. So it's actually not even an investment, right? It's a negative 100%. You pay it and it's gone. So just to be clear, comparing your current electricity bill to solar is like comparing rent to a mortgage. You can never ever pay off your rent, but you can own your home, and you can own solar panels. You can own them, and their fuel source, they run off of free sunshine, doesn't cost anything, and they don't have any moving parts. So the answer to your question, Kyle, is there's zero maintenance associated with solar panels. They don't move in any way. If you live on a really super dusty road, you may want to hose them off, because the more sunshine that hits them, the more efficient they'll be. But usually, like Umberto said earlier, it's raining hard in Miami right now, and the rain cleans them off just fine. So that's that. Just to be clear on that, the ROI in your electricity bill is negative 100%. You can own your solar panels. When will your electricity bill be paid off? We talked about that, right? But you can pay off your solar panels, and you get to choose how long you want to pay for your solar panels, just like you chose how long you wanted to pay off your house. You could pay cash for your house. You could pay a 15-year mortgage. You could pay a 30-year mortgage. That just determines what your payment's going to be. That's exactly how solar works, except for there's one big difference. Usually when you buy a house, you have to put down a down payment. When you buy solar, you can easily have solar installed and activated so it's generating electricity without spending any money up front. Okay, did anybody here get an iPhone at the iPhone store without spending anything up front and just pay for it monthly? Like a smartphone? Do you guys get that? Luke did. Terry's like, no, I paid for mine. You probably chose a 15-year mortgage too. The folks that are financially savvy, they usually understand financing costs and they'd like to pay things off faster. But you can definitely access things without any upfront costs, solar being one of those. So just to ask a comprehension question, if you guys wanted to go solar, how much do you have to pay upfront in order to have them installed?
Okay.
What'd you say, Terry?
You said nothing, right?
Exactly right. We've been doing this for 6 years. They would have kicked us out of all the schools and churches by now if we were lying to folks. You can definitely go solar without any initial costs. And you can pay it off monthly, just like you do your electricity bill. So, and then the last question to get on the same page is, where is your current electricity generated? How far away from your house? Yeah, we were doing this for a really long time before we realized that most humans don't even know how electricity is generated in the first place, like how we make it. And then most people, it's crazy. Do you guys know how much a unit of electricity costs? Like a gallon of gas costs like $2.55 or whatever. How much does a unit of electricity cost? I know, isn't it crazy? And so for something that's so important to us, because think about how important electricity is. Think about the last time the power went out. It's like the world stopped. Electricity is it's so important that when it's not present, it's pretty much the only thing we can think about. Yet most of us don't know how far away it's generated, how it's generated, or any of that stuff. So I just want to be really clear. Your electricity, something that's super important to you, is produced probably 100 or 200 miles from where you currently live. I might be wrong because I didn't look at your closest power plant for each of you. But in general, it's separated from you by hundreds of miles of vulnerable power lines. And if you guys chose to use solar technology, you would be producing that same electricity where you live from sunshine. And I've been let down by a lot of people in my life, but the sunshine has shown up for me every single day so far. It is very reliable. So either way, thanks for bearing with me for that little get on the same page thing. Does anybody have any questions about anything we just talked about as far as getting on the same page? Pretty clear. Like, you guys are paying a bill you can never get rid of. You're always going to use electricity. So you own your home. Why would you rent your electricity? Current electricity is far away. You can make it on site. Your electricity bills, there is no return on your investment, where the day that your solar panels are installed, you get an ROI, because the value of your home, the equity in your property, goes up more than the cost of the equipment if you buy it through an organization like Ovanova that doesn't mark up the equipment or the labor and doesn't have sales costs and marketing costs and things like that. Our marketing costs are donations to community organizations. So that's getting on the same page. Now, the 4 basic concepts, I'm not going to talk to you guys about stuff you already know. So I'm going to ask these as questions. And then if you guys don't have good answers and don't understand it, then I'll go into it. But I don't want to talk to you guys about stuff you already know. So who here knows how solar works when it's cloudy or rainy or it's dark outside? Okay. How about, have you guys all heard that solar can be expensive? Is that, everybody heard that? Guy was like, yes, I have. Terry. Yeah. And have you guys also heard that solar saves you money?
Mm-hmm.
So how does that even work? How is solar expensive and yet save you money? Those two things I'm not able to reconcile in my head. So does anybody, can anybody explain that to the class? I don't want to, just seeing which concepts I need to touch on, because there's just 4 simple ones.
So in my mind, I've always thought that the solar panels would be really expensive to install and upkeep. And like when I look at my TECO bill, Tampa Electric, it says a little blurb about solar and how you can get a discount if you have that. But I always think that my return on investment wouldn't outweigh the cost of a solar panel. So that's kind of where that goes, to tie in with those 2 questions.
Perfect. And so Kyle, if you did earlier, I saw you nod your head when I mentioned a design, a solar design. And if it's okay with you, if it makes sense, I could actually pull your specific solar design up. It would have your address on it, but I mean,
Sure.
people could just Google your name and they'd know where you live. But yeah, so we built a solar design for you that generates 100% of the energy that you currently buy from Tico for $185 a month? Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means you could completely get all of the units of electricity that you need from Sunshine. And if you chose the financing option where you did zero money up front, then you would pay $27.67 less than you're currently paying. So just to give you an example, what I mean by that. So I'm just going to mute you because of the music, and then you can unmute yourself to, it's yeah, no problem. Oh, I muted him and he's saying good words. What were you saying? You're going to have to unmute and say it now. I don't know if you're singing, Kyle, or transmitting like the meaning of life right now, but okay. But so check this out, Kyle. This is the deal, right? This number on this slide, $127, this would be your 185, right? This is what you currently pay Tico on average. Now, because you can produce 100% of your energy, then you actually get rid of that. Like, again, it's like if you you moved out of a house that you were renting into a house that you were owning, you don't keep paying your old rent and your new mortgage. All you do is just pay your new mortgage, right? And then the monthly cost for your solar, it really depends on you and what your credit score is and what term you choose. Do you want to pay off your solar in 5 years or 25 years, right? But if you chose the loan that my wife and I did, which was zero down, we're going to have it paid off in 21 years, then you would pay $27 less every month, and you would be paying yourself to own your own equipment that runs on Sunshine, and you would make your house more valuable, and you get a big federal tax credit. So all sorts of cool stuff. But either way, just to let you know, because it sounded like your thoughts in the past, they just might have been based on not having all the data, which that's why we did this, is we would just like it when people get the information. So thank you for being here. Thank you for participating. And thanks for being musical. All right, so I'm going to jump back into these 4 things. So we might touch on that, but it sounds like we made a little bit of progress on number 2. How many solar panels do you need? Well, how many solar panels that you guys need is going to determine how much your solar costs. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because if you have to buy more panels, it's going to cost more money. Well, what do you think determines how many solar panels you need?
I don't know. My house is a 4-room. I don't know. It's 5, 7 panels.
Umberto, you're getting there. He was talking about how many bedrooms that he has, and usually that correlates with the square footage of the house, and usually the size of the house correlates with how much electricity it consumes.
Yeah.
But what the real number is how much electricity do you need to produce? Because some people live in really small houses and use a lot of electricity. So it's not so much the house size as it is how many units of electricity do you need to consume. So just to let you guys know, when you made that guess about, $200 a month, $150 a month, if you were off by $20 or $30 a month, then you may be off by $3,000 or $5,000 on your quote. But if you were spot on, then our quote is spot on. Now, granted, we gave you worst case scenario pricing. So just to give you an idea of this is what you're going to get tomorrow. You're going to get this crazy spreadsheet. So what you got before today was actually not as specific as this is, but this breaks down all the costs, how much the panels cost, the shipping, the tax, everything. And the neat thing about it is, we build in this thing called the imperfect information fund. We don't have it that money set aside for anything other than like possible hiccups during installation. Like let's say that we go to do Terry's install and his electrical panel can't handle the voltage. So we need to upgrade the panel. Well, that's what the imperfect information fund was before. In over 90% of the scenarios, this money is returned to the homeowner along with any savings that we find during the process. It's called the Ovanova rebate. So the price that you got from us is actually going to be called the worst case scenario price. So it will not be higher than that, but it will most every time return a cash rebate that you could either use to buy a jet ski or pay down your loan. So your loan amount is less each month. It's totally up to you. Either way, you're going to get that tomorrow. And on every page, there's this link right here at the bottom where you can click it. And then you can actually pick a day and a time. It's coming up. My internet apparently is a little slow, but yeah, it's just an easy way to figure out, okay, these guys are available on all these days at all these times. And it's going to automatically send you a reminder, set up a Zoom thing, send you a text to remind you, an email to remind you, just like the dentist office when you set up an appointment. So if you guys, honestly, again, if you guys heard something this evening that was like, wow, maybe that Ovanova team really does care about humanity, and maybe they do have some information that now that I know, right? With new information, we can make new decisions. My simple request is please book a time. Even like stop listening to me for 5 minutes right now and find the chat and book a time now if you would. But that's how I judge how effective I am at communicating to my fellow humans, is how many of you guys choose to continue your solar exploration journey. So either way, back to the show here, and we're almost done. Thank you guys, and they'll just be open up to Q&A. So this was already asked: what maintenance or other unforeseen expenses might come with solar? So so again, how many panels you need is based on how much electricity you need to produce. And as far as maintenance and other unforeseen expenses, let's begin to end this conversation as far as the monologue that I've been giving by watching this short 1-minute video.
The roof for solar panels. Here, the team of 3 installers are placing racks on the roof that will hold the 24 solar panels. Step 2.
I should have. So, Umberto, remember when you asked about hurricanes?
Yeah, I see that.
Yes. So in any county or area that you want to build anything, you have to pull a permit, a building permit. And
okay.
Depending on where you live, the codes or the guidelines associated with how it needs to be built will be different. Like for instance, in Miami, most things need to be built to withstand hurricane force winds. So do you see all these attachment points on the roof? In Miami, there will be more attachment points closer together because of the wind speed, whereas up north, where they get a lot of snow, the engineering is going to focus on making sure that with the weight of the snow and the weight of the solar panels, that it's not going to be too much for the roof. Okay, so every area is going to have different guidelines and things that we need to pay attention to. But solar was invented in 1954, so 67 years ago. The first solar panels are still functioning. Again, no moving parts. They just sit there. So the ones that you buy today will come with a 25-year warranty. That's just right out of the box. They're just like 25 years guaranteed. The sun's going to be coming up after 25 years and your panels will still be working. It's just that's when your warranty ends. So I just want to be clear. That's what's going to determine these attachment points, if the things are going to blow off the roof. And if you look, and if there was a hurricane that was stronger than your solar panels, which is possible because it's Mother Nature, then everybody has homeowners insurance that would protect them. And that's something we check on when you go solar to make sure that your insurance will cover your solar investment. So hopefully that was helpful. And I didn't mean to pause the video, but I remember you asking about hurricanes, and that's a good way to show you. You see how many places it's attached. If you Google hurricanes and solar panels, you'll find sometimes people's roofs are blown off and the panels are still attached. So we do a good job.
installers are placing racks on the roof that will hold the 24 solar panels. Step 2. Connecting the panels to the roof. The panels are mounted on the racking equipment and will soon begin to generate solar electricity. They are connected to a string inverter that converts solar energy into usable electricity. Solar panels are lightweight and very durable. They require no maintenance and they last more than 30 years.
So I just wanted to pause it here to make a statement. So sunshine is pretty hardcore. It's harsh. It wears things out. That's what makes your roof need to be replaced every 20 or so years. When you cover your roof with solar panels, not only are you protecting it, it's like a hard hat. But what do you guys think? Just use common sense here. If it's a 100-degree day in Florida and the sun's just beating down on this house, you got to see that air gap between the panels and the roof. Do you think that this house will stay cooler with the panels shading the roof and air moving in between them, or with the sun just beating down directly on the shingles? Which house do you think is going to need more air conditioning?
Without the solar panels.
Yeah, totally. Thank you, Terry. And that's there's so many benefits to this technology. It's just everybody's working so hard and so busy that they really just haven't explored it. And typically when people explore solar, it's through salespeople, and nobody likes to be sold, right? Everybody likes to save money and do things that are good for the environment and invest in their property. But people just don't like to have somebody sit in front of them and try to get them to do something and not actually educate them. So either way, thank you for participating tonight, guys.
The Formans purchased their system and will break even in just 5 years. By going solar, they will save $2,250 on electric bills annually. They also avoid nearly 7 tons of carbon, which is equal to planting 127 trees every year. And it took less than a day to install. Find out your solar savings.
So just to be clear, we don't really like to talk about the environment because it can be polarizing. But people spend more money on organic produce. And you could say, well, it's because they'll spend less money on medical bills later because organic produce is healthier. But what I'm proposing to you guys this evening is that if you use the design that we created, which you can easily modify, like I can show you how simple it is to move panels around, then everybody here, I'm trying to see if there's anybody that's not. So Terry, we can produce 100% of electricity on your roof, and you'd save, if you did the zero down option, $19.49 a month. Now there's smarter, more financially advantageous ways to finance solar. This is just an easy one where you pay nothing up front and it's as easy as applying for a credit card. Let's see here. Sherry, you have Lakeland Electric, and they're one of the wildest utility companies out there. And they actually tell you that you cannot have more than a certain number of panels.
Wow.
So I know because you have that beautiful barn, that garage thing. I was like, oh, I would love to use that. But, and so you can put them anywhere you want to. You have so much solar possibility, but Lakeland Electric is actually going to stop you at 75% of your energy needs. So you can get rid of most of your electricity bill, but Lakeland just got you stuck with 25% left. But either way, you could delete 75% of your bill and still save $6.09. So what I mean by that is you're paying $200 a month, and you would actually be able to get rid of 150 of that, and you'd be able to do it with $140 something payment. So it saves you money still. So either way, that's the game. Umberto, you have, I guess, high energy usage if your numbers are correct. Again, you might have guessed a little bit off, but we produced 63% of your electricity, and you still saved $2.83. So you weren't able to get 100, but you're able to rent less, right? Not to mention you have the ability to produce electricity on site. And if you wanted a battery, then you could keep your lights on after a hurricane where other people couldn't, which is pretty cool. So either way, that's the name of the game. As far as if somebody were to give you a set of solar panels and being worried about the integrity of your roof, we don't work with solar companies as much as we work with roofers and electricians. Because if you think about it, would you rather have a solar company on your roof or a roofer? Right? And when it comes to hooking up electrical work, would you rather have a solar company or an electrician? So all that a solar company does is they hire roofers and electricians and mark up the labor. They buy solar equipment and mark up the solar equipment, and they have salespeople that can go out and sell it. So that is what a solar company is. And we just decided that we'd like to bring the world solar in a more elegant way. And so we work directly with roofers and electricians. They will be licensed and bonded and insured, but they will not harm your roof. And there is actually, and does everybody here have shingle roof?
Yes.
Umberto, you have shingle? I can't remember if yours is tile or not.
Shingle.
Oh, okay, cool. And Kyle, you have a shingle roof? Okay, yeah, this might be
I do.
worth it. This is like less than a minute, but I think I have a shingle roof too, so this might be really valuable for you. Here, check this out. Sorry if I'm going too overboard. You guys have been great.
Introducing FlashFoot, an all-in-one solar mounting product that integrates a flashing, lag bolt, and L-foot into a single assembly. Built for superior structural and waterproofing performance, FlashFoot is tested and certified to international building and residential codes, and backed by a 20-year warranty. At the heart of the FlashFoot, a patented bushing provides complete protection against water intrusion. Its exterior compresses within the L-foot cavity, while its interior wraps tightly around the lag bolt. This dual seal is both watertight and shielded from the elements. The seal is complemented with an extra-wide 12-inch by 12-inch flashing layer with an elevated ceiling platform to maximize water shedding efficiency. Below the flashing layer, a low distribution plate reinforces the connection between the lag bolt and rafter to increase structural strength. As a result, the FlashFoot achieves dramatically higher shear and uplift performance compared to competing products. FlashFoot was designed for rapid installation. Using the FlashFoot center guide, line up your pilot hole as you slide the flashing between the shingle layers. Then insert the lag bolt through the washer, L-foot, and flashing and tighten until fully seated. The FlashFoot is now installed and ready for Iron Ridge rails. Simply drop the rail into the open slot of the L-foot. Level and tighten the bolts. The installation is now complete. To learn more about Iron Ridge FlashFoot,
Did anybody catch earlier how long a solar installation takes in that video? The video said that their installation was done in 1 day. So you could see how fast that was. If you want a battery, it might take 3 days. If you don't want a battery, it's usually 1 to 2 days total for the actual installation, and most of it's outside your house. So you're not dealing with like a kitchen remodel type of mess or anything like that. But I just wanted to show you guys that so you could see, one, that is a very rigid, waterproof situation. It's hard to mess up if you've ever done roofing, and it's all underneath of your solar panels. So all the rain and everything's hitting the tops of the panels. All that's just up underneath. So the rain that runs underneath the panels is all that's going to even touch that stuff, and staying away from direct sunshine keeps it all nice and good. And, either way, we've come a long way with solar, and it's at the point now where it's costing folks to not be using it. So we've covered pretty much all these basic concepts. The only thing that I'd really think that we should touch on is how solar works when it's cloudy or rainy, because this is a simple concept, but it really like wakes people up. So Terry, you are currently connected to the power lines, and if you went solar, like there's only one person so far in the history of our history anyway, is Luke's dad, who decided to actually disconnect the power lines from his house. So everybody else stays connected to the power lines. So that means that your electricity will be just as reliable as it has always been. So even when it's pitch black outside, your solar panels do not store any electricity at all, but you still have the power lines. So your lights aren't going to flash. You're not going to run out of electricity, but you still don't have to buy that electricity because you produced it earlier in the day. So here's how it works. The sun shines, the panels make electricity. your house uses whatever electricity it needs. But most of the time, your panels will be producing during the day more than your house can use. So you actually sell that electricity back to the utility company and it goes onto the power lines. Does anybody have any idea why in the world their utility company would buy electricity when they're in the business of selling electricity? It's kind of weird, right? Well, remember, they generate it far away from where you live, and electricity gets lost in transmission. So they actually lose a lot of the energy pushing it down the power lines. It just kind of bleeds off, right? And so if they can buy it from you and you produced it from free sunshine, and they can sell it to your next door neighbors at full price, they're making out like bandits. Now, because they didn't lose any of it and they didn't have to produce it by setting stuff on fire. I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen an electricity operation, guys, but I mean, it's nuts. I mean, look at the machines. We have to, even if it's not coal, even if it's nuclear energy, there's still massive boilers. I mean, all a nuclear power plant is, guys, is taking the heat from a nuclear reaction to boil water to make steam, to spin a big turbine like this super duper fast, to rotate magnets and copper to send it down the power lines. That's expensive. And people have to go to work every day to do it. So your power company is making out like a bandit when they can buy free sunshine energy from you and sell it to your neighbors. But the cool thing is when they buy it from you, you get a credit. You get this token. So after dark, or when it's cloudy, or when you've got a ton of family over and your solar's not producing enough, you can actually just use those tokens instead of use US dollars. So you can get rid of 100% of your electricity bill that is units of energy, and you'll still pay whatever cost it is to be a customer of your power company, which, Luke, did you ever find out if TICO was $8 or if FPL was $8 when I asked you to look yesterday?
Yeah, if I remember correctly, FPL was 14, TICO was 8.
Okay, so TICO,
Yeah.
it costs $8.32 each month to stay connected to the power lines, even if you don't use any of their energy. And FPL, it costs $14 and something. I don't remember Lakeland's, but I bet Luke could look it up real quick. But either way, so just to be clear, guys, if you go solar, you're not going to run out of power. Everything's going to work just like it always has. You're just going to be able to sell back excess energy when you're producing. And it'll kind of look like this. Here's a little production curve, right? The sun gets higher in the sky in the summer and the days are longer. So you're going to produce more electricity in the summer, and it gets lower and you'll produce less. You get to generate electricity during the months when there's lots of sunshine, and you get to use it during the months when there's less. Pretty cool. That's because your power company buys it from you and you just get these rollover credits that you get to use whenever you need. And we designed a system based on your guess. You said, I use $200 a month. Well, we know exactly how many units of electricity that is in a year. We pull it up. I've got Umberto here right now, but Kyle gave me permission. I haven't even seen I don't think I looked your design up today, Kyle. Let me, Kyle Kirkland, a little alliteration there. So yeah, so we can actually pull it up and look at the sun's path over your house throughout the 12 months of the year. And we can see how much electricity these solar panels will produce. And in this case, they produce 21,733 kilowatt hours. So whenever you sign up for a follow-up to have a Zoom call with us, if you call your power company and ask them how many kilowatt hours did I use last year, and it's this number, then that is 100% of what you need. If it's less than this, we put too many panels on there and your price is too high. If it's more than this, then we need to add a few in these spots where there's room. But yeah, so either way, you can say, you know what, John, I don't like that design. I want those ones gone. No problem. We can move them around. We can put them in the yard. Look at this, guys. It's 2021. You can have a solar pergola. You can let the light pass through the panels and get a tan underneath of it. You can actually, you can mount them in the yard and do the old school silver ones. We haven't had a single customer buy this type of solar panel. Everybody likes the all black ones. They're just like, that's beautiful, John. I want the all black solar panels. That's what I want. And shade your roof, all that stuff. Here's one of a teacher down there in Florida. She has Lakeland Electric, by the way, Sherry. This teacher. Beautiful. She's an awesome lady. But yeah, you can have an outdoor kitchen with a solar roof. If you want to camouflage them, you can take a picture of your roof and we can put a matching film over it to make it look like your roof. You can do anything you want. And we're here to make sure that you have all your questions answered. But the big thing that we wanted to share with you about the science related to solar energy is you're not going to run out. You're not going to not have enough, and your appliances are going to work the same way because you're still connected to the power company. And I know I've kept you guys longer than I said I would. Thank you guys for paying so much attention. This is the one thing that if people find out about later, unmet expectations create resentment. And this is the one thing that you might find out later. You'd be like, why didn't John tell me? Okay. If you have solar and the sun is shining, but the power lines are broken, meaning that the utility company is not able to supply you with electricity. In other words, the power is out, your solar panels will shut down as well and not function. It's a safety equipment thing. So if you're overproducing electricity and you're selling it back and putting it onto the power lines, you could shock the people trying to fix the power lines. So when the power is out on the grid, your solar equipment will shut down. So if you want to keep your lights on when the grid is not able to provide you with electricity, that's when you need a battery. So you do not need a battery to benefit from the savings of solar energy at all. But if you're the type of person who likes to have a generator and who likes to have lights when no one else does, a battery is just a quiet generator that doesn't need gasoline. It can fill itself up on free sunshine. So either way, I just want to be clear, you don't have to get a battery. And tomorrow, when you get your design, that open book pricing I told you about, there's a tab at the bottom that has a standard option. That's the option where your electricity works exactly like it does now. When the power's out for everybody else, it's out for you. Here's the option where you got a battery and you can keep your lights on even when nobody else has theirs. So they'll show you the two different prices and everything associated with it. So either way, just want to be clear because I know that, I know all the time people go solar and then there's a hurricane and the next day it's sunny out and they're like, why in the heck aren't my lights on? It's because the salesperson didn't cue them into, a little fat called rapid shutdown and lineman safety. So just want to be clear. That's the reason to invest in a battery if you wanted to. And all the prices are all transparent. We'll be happy to work with you guys. Again, thank you for being here. I'm opening it up for Q&A. I'll be here as long as you want. But I feel like you guys were fantastic. You all listened, contributed. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting community organizations. And please, again, how I judge my effectiveness is how many of you guys decide to continue your solar exploration journey. There's a link in the chat. Well, if it's okay with you guys, I'm gonna text you that link after this. It'll be the last time you hear from me unless you reach out to me, but I just wanna make sure it's easy and it's on the top of your list. But otherwise, again, happy Thursday. I'm not kicking you off. This is that part in the beginning where I said there's Q&A and it's up to you. Anything you want. I will satisfy your solar curiosities as long as you wish. I've got a great smile.
How long does the battery backup, how long does it last if there was a power outage?
Totally. The answer to your question is that depends on how many things you want to operate. So you'll see on your template, your open book pricing, when you get it, we started you at 20 kilowatt hours of storage. So the units of a kilowatt hour, that just means 20,000 watt hours. So to give you an example, like, do you ever run, you're in Florida, right? So you probably don't run like a space heater, but a window unit or something like that, like an air conditioning unit, a small one, not a whole house air conditioner, that might use like 1,500 to 2,000 watts per hour. So that means that if you had this battery bank, you could run that without any sunshine, because again, the battery operates when it's dark out. When the sun's working, it's charging and you're running off of your solar panel. So you're only really thinking about after dark hours that you need to run stuff. And most of the time that it's dark, Terry, you're sleeping usually. So you don't really need a ton of storage, but that would allow that air conditioner to run for 10 hours.
Oh,
right. Exactly. So so you can see down here, we actually show you the battery option that we chose. and we compare it for you really easily to the Tesla Powerwall, to the Generac battery, to all the different batteries that are on the market that most people would buy. We chose the Solarc. It's a US made inverter that was military. So it's the one that the preppers use. It's an awesome piece of equipment. And we also show you, if you want more or less battery, we show you transparently exactly what the dealer price is for the battery. So if you wanted half as much, how much that would cost. If you wanted twice as much, how much that would cost. And we don't mark up any of our equipment, batteries, panels, anything. It is a pass-through cost directly to you. So the dealer price is what you would pay. So either way, again, we earn our money, Terry, by the Ovanova fundraising service fee that's transparently in your design. You'll actually be able to see exactly how much we earn. We don't think we need to earn money from marking up equipment and marking up labor. We show you exactly what we earn because we're proud of it, and we know that our prices are disruptive because of the way we do business. But what other kind of questions do you have about the batteries?
So if the power was out, let's say there's a hurricane, the power is out, and the power is going to be out for a week, my battery isn't going to be recharged from the solar panels, right? It's just
it is. That's exactly how it works. So what happens is when the utility grid is not functioning,
right.
Then for the safety of the line workers, you're going to open the circuit to the utility grid. So you're no longer sending electricity back on the lines. So what happens is your panels will produce electricity during the day. Whatever you cannot use, because again, solar panels produce so much when it's light out that there's excess. It's going to charge your battery up to full. And then after the sun goes down, you transition from using solar for your electricity to using the battery. And then when the sun comes back up the next day, you start to run your house on the solar panels again and recharge the battery. So again, that's the beauty of it. Like after a hurricane, sometimes the gas station's electricity isn't working. So you can't even fill up a gas can to fill your generator. But the sun's definitely going to show up every day. Even if it's cloudy, your solar equipment will actually generate electricity. This is an app that you'll have on your phone, and this is my house. And so you can see that you can actually tell. Let me. So you guys see those little green bubbles moving, right? So this one will show you how much your solar panels are producing in real time. This one shows you where your battery's at in percentage. This one shows you how much you're selling back to the utility company or buying from the utility company, depending on what time of day it is. This shows you how much your house is using. So wouldn't it be cool if you just could know how much electricity you're using in your house at any given moment? That's one of my favorite things. It's like, oh, wow, did I leave a bunch of lights on? What's going on? And I can see this when I'm at the house, when I'm away from the house. But yeah, so you'd have this. So even if it's cloudy, you'll be able to look and go, oh, wow, I'm still producing electricity. If you can see your mailbox, you're generating electricity as long as there's light. So it shows you a graph of your usage and consumption, and you can see month totals, year-to-date totals. It's just a really fun, shows you the weather. So you can see, oh, wow, I'm not at my house. I'm actually traveling, but I can see that it's partly cloudy, and that's why I'm not producing as much as I normally am. Cool, that makes sense. So it's all real transparent and easy. Again, it's 2021. We've had solar for 67 years. We've figured out a whole lot. What other questions do you have? These are great ones, Terry.
Or I got confused earlier when you said that if the power was out, the solar panels was not going to work. Didn't you say that earlier?
Yes, sir. So if the power is out and you do not have a battery,
okay,
then your electricity will not work, because if you don't have a battery, there's nowhere for your excess electricity to go other than down the power lines, and people are working on the power lines.
Oh, okay.
But if you have a battery, then there's something called the automatic transfer switch. It senses the battery, or it senses the utility grid fail, and it opens the circuit. So then you're no longer connected to the power lines, and you can actually have a microgrid between your house, your battery, and your solar panels.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can see on the on here another reason why we chose the battery option that we did is the option that we chose. It when there's grid failure, it transfers to running off the battery in 4 milliseconds. In comparison to some of the other systems on the market that are like like the Tesla Powerwall's 2,000 milliseconds, right? And it's we're not saying it's a bad system. It's just expensive. It uses a lot of rare earth minerals, and the warranty isn't as long. And there's so many reasons. If you actually, I just saw an article yesterday that showed that Tesla is now moving to the battery chemistry that we're using. So we are using lithium iron phosphate, which is fine because the downside is it's heavy, but it's at your house. It doesn't need to move. It's not in a car, right? It's okay to be heavy. But lithium ion, what's in a Tesla Powerwall and what's in the vehicles, that's a lighter battery chemistry, but it's much more expensive. And so either way, Tesla, there's an article I read yesterday that's saying, I was like, man, we've been ahead of the curve because we're kind of nerds about this stuff, but it's cool to see Tesla moving in that direction. And it reaffirms the choice that we've made as an organization to help our customers, get the Solarc and the lithium iron phosphate battery bank. The warranty on your batteries is not 25 years like your panels. It's actually 11,000 cycles, or sorry, 4,000 cycles, which if you were to use your battery every single day, then the warranty would last for 11 years. But most people only use their battery when the power's down, just like most people only use their generator when the power's down. So the battery will last a very long time. Did that answer your question about when the power goes out? Because if you don't have a battery, yes, your solar array will not provide your house with power unless you have a battery, and it's for safety purposes.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Okay.
It's just extra feature you get. Now thank you guys. Thank you so much. And again, I'm happy to reconnect with you guys anytime. So Umberto, I know that we only designed something that's 63% of what you need, but that's 63% less that you'll have to pay in rent. It increases the value of your property. So definitely continue to follow the rabbit hole. We'll be happy to be as patient with you as possible. And I have friends that speak Spanish, and I can also speak slower.
Okay.
So
Thank
we
you.
can make it happen. But you did great tonight. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, Terry. Happy Thursday.
Bye-bye.